I am a disciple of that. Which makes me dance. The cause of ras. The treasure house.
Tang tan murti prati tatarulata digvi dikshus purayanti Sridusiva brahmoti parito natyanti sapaschat. ने पूछा ये प्रियसखी वृंदे तुम कहाँ से आ रही? वृंदा बोली हिरादे मैं श्री कृष्ण के चरण कमलों की समीप से आ रही हूँ। श्री राधा ने जिज्ञासा की श्री कृष्ण कहाँ है?
Where is Shri Krishna? Srimati Radhika is saying. Vrinda Devi said she is on the bank of Yokund. Srimati Radhika again asked, what is he doing? He is learning how to dance. Who is his guru? Vrinda Devi said, he sees in all the trees, only you. And he is following you in the movements of the trees. Krishna is dancing. This is the dialogue between Vrinda Devi and Srimati Radhika.
Nijo premanande mor hoy je anand alad taha hoite koti yug radha prema sad ami joiche paraspor viruddha dharmasray radha prem toiche sada viruddha dharmamoy राधा प्रेम विभुजार बालिते नहीं बंश बालिते नहीं ठाई तथापि से खने खने बारोई सदाई जहाँ बोई गुरु तत्व जहाँ बोई गुरु वस्तु नहीं सुनिश्चित तथापि गुरु धर्म गौरव वर्जित जहाँ बोई सुनिर्मल द्वितीय नहीं आर तथापि सर्वदा ब्रह्म वक्र व्यवहार। श्री कृष्ण विचार कर रहे हैं।
Shri Krishna is thinking.
आस्वादन में मुझे तो आस्वादन होता है।
In tasting your love,
कोटि गुण
I am
आनंद राधा को और अपने प्रेम आस्वादन में होता है।
tasting
मुझ में एक साथ वास करते।
just like opposite dharmas reside in me. In this same way, Srimati Radhika's love is full of contradictions that cannot be described, which in every moment is present in its full extent. There's nothing greater than that love.
अर्थात आचरण से विहीन है, वही महानद का लक्षण है। यद्यपि राधा के प्रेम से सुनिर्मल अन्य कोई वस्तु नहीं है, तथापि वह प्रेम सदा
There is nothing comparable to Srimati Radhika's love.
मैं कृष्ण जिस प्रकार सभी विरुद्ध धर्म का आश्रय हूँ, जैसे निर्विकार होने पर भी स्वेच्छामय है। भगवान के विरुद्ध धर्म क्या है?
What is the contradictory dharma in God?
10 बार पूछिए तो बोलते बोल नहीं पाते।
Sarvamugdata? Mugdata in
जैसे मैं निर्विकार होने पर भी स्वेच्छामय, तो विकार नहीं होने पर भी स्वतंत्र स्वेच्छा रूप में मैं विचरण करता हूँ। सर्वव्यापी
I am present in everything, and although having a form, He's omnipresent. Omnipresent.
Omnipresent. होने पर भी और फिर भगवान मूर्तिमान है।
He's also in a particular place. Although I'm neutral, I'm favorable to my devotees. He takes the side of the devotees, although he's neutral in all respects. He says in the Bhagavad Gita, I am equal to all living entities. This question Parikshit Maharaj asked to Shukadev Goswami. How is this possible? He's in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Why did he take the side of the Pandavas? When there is a battle between the demigods and the demons, whose side does he take? The demigods. That's why the Lord says, although I am neutral and indifferent, I take the side of my devotees. Why? 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 Because the devotees are surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Lord. I am, although Atmaram, I am Aptakam. He's self-satisfied and know all his desires. Still, I am indebted to my devotees who are fully surrendered to me, and their love binds me and makes me dance. Even with a little mak and little butter, they make me dance. So here it is said, he's on the side of his devotees. This is contradictory, opposite terms of contradiction. One is nirvikar, it's no form, but he has form, or does not take part in any happiness or distress.
One very nice, beautiful point. Then Krishna, he noticed one
elephant drowning
in the water and about to die. Krishna noticed, but Krishna did not
do anything.
Help, not do anything. Because Krishna is thinking, I am Paramatma. And Paramatma means I am witness all the activities of conditioned soul. And all the conditioned soul, they are suffering their own karma. And if you good karma, then you will get good result. And if you bad karma, bad result. So what will do? This is not my duty. हमारे काम नहीं है. परमात्मा के काम क्या है? विटनेस है। जीव अपने अपने कर्म फल से भोग रहे हैं, उसके नाम क्या है? आज मेरा बात
What can I do if the living entities decides to engage in sinful activities? They are reaping the benefits of their own karma. For this reason, Krishna did not do anything to help the elephant. At the same time, Srimati Radhika was seeing the elephant drowning because she is most compassionate, Karunamai. And Srimati Radhika just there and then to put a lotus into the water. That lotus in the hand of Srimati Radhika is not ordinary, it is transcendental, and that lotus came in front of the elephant. That fragrance emanating from that lotus covered the elephant and pulled the elephant out of the water. Both the lotus and the elephant left their gross bodies and accepted a transcendental body and stood there in front of Radha and Krishna, took a form of a Sakhi, a beautiful form of Sakhis, and they served the divine couple, Radha and Krishna. So this example has been given. The Lord says, I am Atmaram, Aptakam, I have no desires to fulfill. I am witness. I am neutral. But still, I am taking the sides of my devotees, because my devotees, they call me. Pukarte. The devotees call me. They invite me with love and devotion. Then I come. Even though I'm neutral, because of this Vatsalya Prem in their heart for me, they captivate me, they bind me. One of qualities of the Lord is that He is Bhakta Vatsalya. He is just like a mother has equal love and affection for all her children. But that child who has greater love for the mother or father show more affection to that child. Like in the same way in the Bhagavad Gita, in this shloka, Krishna says, I give equal attention to all the living entities, but I am particularly drawn towards my dear devotees, Bhakta Vatsalya. This is a speciality of the Lord. Like Nishingadev on Hiranyakashipu, he showed this horrific form to the demon. But when Prahlad came, Bhagwan ki jai. Even though I am being neutral, I have a particular affection for my devotees. Atmaram, one who is self-satisfied, has no desires to fulfill, but still I am more attracted to my devotees This is like a contradiction.
पहले भगवान की विरुद्ध धर्म क्या है इसको आपको जानना चाहिए.
Just try and understand these qualities of the Lord, then you will understand Srimati Radhika's qualities.
कृष्ण के विरुद्ध धर्म क्या क्या है?
What are his contradictory
आत्मराम, आप्तकाम, साक्षी और निरपेक्ष. बट वो ये होते हुए भी वो भक्त वात्सल्य है. और
अरे पहले विरुद्ध धर्म बता रहे हैं.
First, those dharmas, those qualities that are opposite to each other. Krishna has many good qualities. What is his bad qualities also are shown. Although there are no bad qualities in the Lord, even still, when he takes on human-like pastimes, these contradictory characteristics appears. The Lord is fixed, constant, steady, constant, fixed. But still, because of the love of his devotees, he becomes restless. He becomes chanchal, restless. The opposite of steady is restless. She is fixed, and then he becomes restless. This is a contradiction of characteristics which should try and understand. He is present everywhere. But then he takes a form. It is true that the Lord is everywhere.
Lord resides
Everywhere.
in the form of
Paramatma, in the form of Paramatma. It's called Sarva Vyapi. But in the contradiction, he manifests the human being form, two-arm form holding a flute. He is Murtiman, takes a form. Even though he's neutral, he takes the side of his devotees. It's not possible to be neutral actually.
You cannot stay neutral. Neutral, understand? How long will you stay neutral?
In position. How?
Not long. You have to come this side or have to come
the other side.
निरपेक्ष
We cannot become neutral, but these characteristics of the Lord is shown. When he comes into when the devotee comes and takes shelter of the Lord, then the Lord forgets his neutrality. So these examples are given. Even though I am without a form, I am independent. And I take on a form. Although I am neutral, I am favorable to my devotees. Even though I am self-satisfied, the Lord, although being self-satisfied, he performed pastimes with the gopis.
ऐसे ही राधा प्रेम भी विरुद्ध धर्म से परिपूर्ण है। राधा जी के विरुद्ध धर्म क्या है?
What is Srimati Radhika's contradictory characteristics?
कृष्ण में तो विरुद्ध धर्म दिखाई दिया।
Now we've seen Krishna's.
और कृष्ण राधा जी जैसे परम महाभावमय होने पर भी सदा वृद्धिशील का रूप है। वृद्धिशील बढ़ते रहते।
She has her love is ever increasing without any limit.
राधा प्रेम विभु यार बाड़ीते नहीं ठाई तथापि से कने कने बड़े सदाई। आश्चर्य की बात। जैसे इस संसार में
like in this world there are many examples. This one glass of water,
one glass of water
full.
एक बूंद यदि पानी दिया
If you put one drop of water, drop, overflow.
जितना पानी दिया वो
As much water as you give, it will overflow. Because it is full. If you put one drop, that much will flow, overflow. But Srimati Radhika's love, in the condition of Mahabhav, her love is ever increasing, limitless. And also in Krishna, this is true. In the realm of divine love, he's ever new and fresh. Ever new and fresh.
Ever fresh,
New.
ये शब्द नहीं बैठता है।
Navayaman.
है ये कैसे होता है?
Also, in this material world, when we see something in this world, then it becomes old. But in the spiritual world, when you see something, it's ever new and fresh, as if you've never seen it before, as if you're seeing it for the first time.
निर्मल होने पर भी वामोद आदि से पूर्ण हो जाता है। देखो प्रेम गौरव से परिपूर्ण होने पर भी गौरव विहीन हो जाता। प्रेम किसको होता है? अपने आप को मदमत्तता करा देता।
What does love do to you? This is the characteristics of love. Pramodamana mandite, priyanuraga ranjite, kalalas pandite, ananyadanyaka rajakama keli kovide, karishashiyam kripakataksha bhajana. Shrimati, characteristics of Madadi Yovane, even though she has reached a youthful age, she thinks I am very beautiful. I am very beautiful. She becomes she carries this sense of beauty and appreciation of herself. But even though she has this pride, she is very humble. As much as love increases, this transcendent love increases, it makes one more and more humble. Just like in the example, that when a tree becomes full of fruits, its branches turn downwards towards the earth. It's like a great person. When they become famous, their greatness actually is in their humility. Prem is pure, love is divine and transcendental and pure.
राधा जी के प्रश्न पूछा
Once Krishna asked Srimati Radhika,
है
tell me,
कौन पवित्र होकर के भी अपवित्र है
the one who is pure but still they are impure.
हैं?
Pavitra, apavitra. Who
हैं? क्या नहीं
the examples?
पूछ रहे हैं
Krishna is asking Srimati Radhika,
पवित्र होकर के अपवित्र होता है
one who is pure but yet what is that which is pure yet it is still impure,
शरीर के जो है बाल का
just like the hair on our body.
हैं? बाल पवित्र है जब शरीर
The hair is pure when it is attached to the body.
हैं? आज बाल में अनेकों देवताओं की वास का है
And the demigods reside in the hair, it is said
लिखा गया
in Shastra,
विशेष करके स्त्रियों के जो है
especially in the ladies.
मस्तक के बाल में देवता लोग भी निवास करते हैं
The demigods, they reside in the hair.
तो वर्णन है
It is written in scriptures.
देवता लोग कहाँ रहते हैं
Where do the demigods live?
में रहेंगे
They live in pure places.
तो कहाँ रहेंगे
Where do the demons and ghosts and spirits reside? In the impure places.
कहाँ रहें? हैं? ये बाल क्या है पवित्र है इसके साथ
This hair is divine. Therefore, ladies should not cut their hair. It is written in Shastra, scriptures.
स्त्रियों के बाल कटना नहीं
The ladies should not cut their hair
क्योंकि बालों में
because the demigods reside.
निवास होता है ऐसे पवित्र कहा जाता है दुर्योधन और दुशासन
Duryodhan,
के कारण किसमें
what was the reason for their downfall? Duryodhan and Dushan. That day they grabbed, touched Draupadi's hair.
के लायक नहीं दुर्योधन के आदेश से दुशासन
Duryodhan and Dushashan,
द्रौपदी के बाल पकड़ करके
they dragged Draupadi by the hair.
और ये उसी समय ही
At that time, their
दुर्योधन दुशासन की जो है लक्ष्मी देवी जो है
their death was guaranteed. Draupadi is like Lakshmi Devi. That wealth disappeared from Duryodhan and Dushashan.
लिखा गया थोड़ी स्त्रियों की जो है
That's what he said in Shastra.
बालों के जो है
Ladies should not cut their hair. That's where the demigods revise. They will say, "Where do I go if you cut my?
हमारे घर से तुमने
You have kicked me out of your house. Where will we live?"
लोग क्या होते हैं असंतुष्ट हो गए
Then the demigods become dissatisfied.
ऐसे शास्त्र में लिखा है। इसलिए कह रहे कृष्ण कह रहे हैं कि बताओ,
Krishna is saying
पवित्र होकर के भी
to Srimati Radhika, what is that thing which is pure yet still becomes impure? When that hair from the body becomes separated, it becomes impure.
है हमारे शरीर में जो बाल नाखून
That the nails,
है पवित्र होगा
when it's attached to the body, is still pure. But when the nails are cut and separated from the body, then it's considered impure.
बाल कोई पानी में पड़ जाए ना
If you attach that hair to the water, drinking water, then it becomes impure.
आज समझो। बाल पानी में पड़े पर जैसे एक गिलास पानी आपने पिया पीने
If you're drinking some water
और अकस्मात
and you see a hair in that water, then you will throw the water away, you will not drink it.
तो जल क्या हो गया पवित्र हो
And that's become contaminated.
गया। जो जल ठाकुर जी के भोग लगाते हैं
And that water which you offer to the Thakurji, even if it's Ganga Jal, if it's touched by your fingernails, then it becomes impure.
उनके नाखून के स्पर्श से जल भगवान को अर्पित करना नहीं
We should not offer that water to the Lord,
है
touched with the fingernails or fingers. And like cow urine. Cow urine.
बाल और नाखून जो है शरीर से अलग होकर के यदि कोई जल अथवा भोजन में यदि पड़ जाए
If this hair or nails fall, oh, it's equivalent to a cow meat.
देखो वही बात जब सिर पर रखा
That hair which is attached to the head is pure.
और वही
that same hair, when it's separated from the body, is considered impure. It's cow meat.
दूसरी क्या बोले ना, जो सरल होके बड़ी कुटिलता धारण करते हैं,
Even though another characteristics is the hair is very, the hair comes out straight. As much as it comes out from the head, it becomes curly. That's why Krishna is saying to Srimati Radhika, even though the hair is straight, it becomes crooked.
इसलिए कह रहे हैं, जैसे परम महाभावमय होने पर भी सदा वृद्धिशील, प्रेम गौरव से परिपूर्ण होने पर भी गतिविहीन, एक गौरवविहीन अर्थात निर्मल होकर भामादि से पूर्ण हो जाता है। राधा जी की प्रेम निर्मल पवित्र
Srimati Radhika's love is pure and divine, but she exhibits this characteristics of being left mood, contrary mood. Sure. Like when Nayak, the hero, exhibits contrary mood, the Naika, the heroine, when this love is shown, the hero left wing's mood exhibits dakshin mood, submission mood. But in the hero, submissive mood is there, the right wing mood, and in the heroine there is a natural tendency for left wing mood. Yeah. In this love condition, there is the left wing and right wing moods. In Pranay Geet, this has been described. Krishna called the gopis. How? By playing the flute. And they all came. By the sound of his flute, the klim. He called the gopis, and then he exhibited his left wing mood. Oh, gopis, why have you come to this forest in the middle of the night? Yeah, like if I've called you and you come, and then I knock on the door, and then you ask, why have you come? You will be upset. You called me and I came. Then you ask, why have you come? Why have you come?
I have come my house.
Because you called me. You called me. See, what will you say? You will be upset. If your friend calls you to their house and you come, and when you knock the door, they say, what is the reason for you coming? In this way, Krishna called the gopis by his flute. Why did he call the gopis to perform ras and pastimes? When they came, Krishna said, welcome. But what can I do for you? He's telling them.
तो इसके द्वारा क्या हो रहा है?
What does this mean?
के वाम भाव दिखा रहे हैं।
This is his left-wing mood.
और भी कहने लगे।
And Krishna
आप लोग
said,
सती साध्वी नारी है।
you are chaste ladies.
एवं नेसा घोर रूपा घोर सत्य निसेविता। ये रात्रि काल है।
This is the middle of the night.
काल में स्त्रियों की जो है
Ladies should not, appropriate for ladies to come in the middle of the night. First thing, the ladies should not be on their own, wandering here and there.
क्योंकि कभी अकेली
Ladies should not,
करने जाना उचित नहीं। माने कहीं स्थान पर जाना उचित
not appropriate for ladies to go anywhere on their own.
नहीं। इसलिए से भगवान कर रहे हैं।
So the Lord is saying,
और एक रात्रि का अंधकार।
and at night,
राजन नेसा घोर रूपा घोर सत्य निसेविता।
and
और देखो
in the jungle,
इस जंगल में रात्रि काल में अंधकार भी है।
and it's night time,
काल में जितने निशाचर प्राणी जो
there are animals who prey,
रात्रि काल में
predators,
चलने वाले जो निशाचर का देता भूत वेद पिशाच
ghosts, goblins, witches, snakes,
व्याघ्र
tigers, lions.
दिन में तो वो लोग
In the daytime, all the demigods, and the ghosts and spirits, they're away.
गोपियों की लेकर
They come out at night.
गजन नेसा घोर रूपा घोर सत्य निसेविता। यदि आप लोग कहो जे मैं
If you,
बाग तो पूर्णिमा रात्रि है झिलमिल कर चंद्रमा की रश्मि जो है पर ये जंगल है।
in the daytime, this would not be the case, but this is the jungle.
चंद्रमा के रश्मि सब जगह में
Yeah, because even in the daytime, the rays of the sun do not fall on in the forest, on the ground, and it's still dark. Even the moon, even if it's a full moon night,
रश्मि सब जगह नहीं पड़ता।
that moon rays are blocked by the forest trees. So the Lord is saying,
जब तो पूर्णिमा रात्रि है
if this is a full moon night,
उजाला दिखाई
there is effulgence everywhere and light, but still, in the forest, you cannot see the snakes and the scorpions.
अंधकार केवल पूर्णिमा रात्रि होने पर भी जंगल में
In the,
चंद्रमा की रश्मि नहीं है। इसलिए
it's still dark in the forest,
रात्रि काल में
so
वन में रहना उचित नहीं है।
it's not appropriate for you to stay here at night.
दर्शन करने के लिए आए
You may say that I've come to see the forest at night.
बोले नहीं।
No,
यदि आप कहो जो ऐसे सुंदर सुशोभन युक्त
you're feeling inspired by the moonlight and the atmosphere of the forest, and then now you can go back. You have seen, you've come,
उचित है।
you should return. The ladies should not be on their own,
ये रहना उचित नहीं।
not appropriate.
स्त्री जाति को क्या करना? एक तो अकेला भ्रमण करना उचित नहीं है।
It's not appropriate that they wander on their own, and it is the middle of the night,
जंगल में जाना उचित
and it is the jungle. So Krishna, one by one thing after another, is explaining to the gopis, you should return now.
केवल मात्र दृष्टि ऊपर से दृष्टि करके चले जाओ।
Now you should go. You have seen me? Go, come in the morning.
कृष्ण इसी प्रकार मानो कहने दो, चले जाओ।
Go.
अब दूसरी बात है स्त्री जाति तुम लोग
You are ladies.
ठीक है क्या?
It's not
माता
appropriate.
पिता अपने पति को सेवा करना है आपके उचित है।
It is better you serve your parents.
पति ही परमेश्वर
Your husband is your Parameshwar, your Lord.
परमेश्वर यानी भगवान
Knowing this, you should serve your husband.
जो पतिदेव के परमेश्वर
That person who does this, serves their husband as Parameshwar, the Lord, they attain the heavenly abodes.
शास्त्र में लिखा पति परमेश्वर
That's why in the Shastra it is said, Pati Parameshwara. Parameshwar. The husband should be understood as Parameshwar. If your husband is a rogue, still, you should not leave him. Rogue. rogue,
यदि रोगग्रस्त हो,
misbehave, bad character,
रोगग्रस्त हो,
if he is diseased,
पतिदेव को छोड़ना नहीं चाहिए।
you should not leave him.
शास्त्र में स्वयं कृष्ण कितने सुंदर सुंदर उदाहरण दिया है। महाप्रभु उदाहरण दिया।
It gives very nice examples. Mahaprabhu gave also nice examples.
एक ब्राह्मण और ब्राह्मणी,
There was one Brahman and Brahmani.
गृह में रहते।
They were living in their house.
रोग हो गया।
The Brahman got leprosy.
एक दिन ब्राह्मण
He could not walk.
ने कहा, देखो नदी
The
के
Brahman
पास
said to his wife, "There is one prostitute across the river.
मेरे मन में इच्छा है,
In my mind, I have
कुष्ठ विप्र ब्राह्मण का है।
he's
मेरे उस
desiring
वेश्या के निकट मुझे जाने की इच्छा
to meet that prostitute."
ब्राह्मणी ने क्या की?
So the wife,
देखो पतिदेव
the Brahmani,
जो ब्राह्मण जो है, जो चल सकते हैं, अपने कांध में लेकर
she carried him on his shoulders.
ऐसे संसार में क्यों होता है?
हाँ, महाप्रभु उदाहरण दे रहे.
महाप्रभु स्वयं बोल रहे हैं, चैतन्य चेतामृत में दिखाई ना।
In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it has been described.
महाप्रभु कह रहे हैं, इस उदाहरण दे रहे हैं, कुष्ठ विप्र देखो जो वेश्या के प्रति
Mahaprabhu is giving this example
और उनके पत्नी ने क्या
of chastity.
अपने पतिदेव के
The wife carried her husband on her shoulder across the river to meet the prostitute in the middle of the night,
रास्ता में
in the middle of the way.
मंडप
Mandakya.
मंडप बरिश
Mand-
मंडप ना मंडप बरिश
Mandav Rishi.
उसमें सूल में उसको
He,
चढ़ा दिया था, उस सूल में बैठे थे, सूल समझते हैं?
Mandav Rishi, who was sitting on a spear.
और एक कुष्ठ
And this Brahmana
दिखाई नहीं पड़ा
with leprosy,
कुष्ठ विप्र के शरीर के जो है पर्स जो है
the pus from the body of the Brahmana
जो है और वो
touched
किसी के शरीर पर
the body of the Rishi.
इस समय
At that very moment, Mandav Rishi, he woke from his meditation and sitting on the spear,
शरीर जो है
and at the same time being touched by the pus of the leper Brahmana,
देखो और ऋषि ने क्रोधित होकर के
becoming angry, he cursed the
इनकी शरीर के स्पर्श से मेरे शरीर जो है खून पीप से दूषित हो गया
by
जो उदित होने के साथ
by that person who touched me should die before sunrise.
यही शब्द जो है वो ब्राह्मणी के कान में
That entered the ears of the Brahmani wife
ऐलान कर दिया
and announced, "If I am chaste woman to my husband and faith in my husband, then
पतिव्रता धर्म के द्वारा
then
मैं ये प्रतिज्ञा करता
the sun will not rise."
देखो अपने सदित्य के
Seeing,
द्वारा
hearing this, on this strength of her chastity, the sun did not rise.
कालो हाकार करने
The demigods became concerned and disturbed because the Brahmanas could not perform the yajna, fire sacrifice, in which the demigods are pleased. The offerings into the fire are for the pleasure of the demigods. Then the demigods began to complain, "Oh, the sun is not rising." Then they prayed to Brahma.
पितामह ब्रह्मा जी के प्रार्थना की ब्रह्मा जी स्वयं विष्णु के निकट
Brahmaji approached the Lord and said, "Oh, my Lord, please do something." At that time, Vishnu came to the chaste Brahmani. "Do one thing. Take this vow back. Let the sun rise. If the sun rises, my husband will die." The Lord Vishnu said, "I am Lord. I will keep your vow, your promise. By my very vision, sight, your Brahmana will be free of his leprosy, and he will attain a beautiful body. And saying this, the Brahmani took her vow back. The sun rose, and the Brahman left his body, and by the power of Lord Vishnu's vision, gave him a new body. This is the strength of a chaste woman. She can stop the rising of the sun. So this example is given. Krishna is giving. You are chaste women. You should go back to your husband. If your husband is ill or diseased, or even if he is rude and not well behaved, if he swears and misbehaves, even still, you should not leave your husband. Pati, the husband, is as like Parameshwar, the Lord. This will be to your best benefit for you. If a wife leaves her husband, then she has no good fortune in this world or the next world. She cannot attain the beneficial destination in her next life. Like this, the Lord explained in very nice shlokas. You should go back. Krishna, go and serve your husbands. What did the gopis do and say? He's showing his Bamya Bhav, and he called them, and in return he is insulting them. So what did the gopis say? They replied very nicely. Very nice slok. What does Oh Krishna, you called us, you captivated our mind with your flute playing. Okay, we will agree to go back home and serve our husbands. One does not walk with one's feet, but when the feet are attached to the mind, then only can the feet walk. We don't only walk with our feet independent. The feet have to be connected with the mind. Who knows? Paralysis is what? There's no connection with the senses. Disconnect. Paralysis is a condition of being disconnected with the mind. Paralysis. Yeah. We cannot lift our feet, our hands. If the hand is not connected with the mind, then we cannot raise our hand. This is called paralysis. And gopis is saying in this way, you have given us a good instruction to go back home and serve our husbands, but return our minds first.
You have to return back my mind.
Yeah. You have stole the mind.
Understand? क्योंकि हम थोड़ी सी तो पैर के साथ चलेंगे, इसलिए कुछ श्लोक में बहुत सुंदर आ रहे हैं।
This very nicely is described in this shloka.
ठीक है, आपके चरण से हम जाते करते।
Okay, we are going back with our feet, but give us our mind back first. This is called Pranay Git. You will cry if you hear. Your heart will melt. What mood is they showing? This is the Bhamya Bhav of the gopis. And Krishna is saying, and Dakshin Bhav has changed his mood. When the Nayak, hero, shows left-wing mood, the heroine shows right. When the heroine shows a right-wing mood, then the hero shows the left-wing. This is the nature of love. What did the gopis say in reply? As Krishna said, go back and serve your husbands. The gopis said, oh, very nice instruction you're giving. One is Pati, husband, and supreme husband, Parampati. Parampati, the supreme husband. Parameshwar is Jagadishwar, Jagannath, the Lord of the universe. Nath, we say Jagannath. Nath means Pati, husband. Jagadishwar is a husband, the protector of all the living entities. It's very good to serve the husband, but you should also serve the supreme husband, the Pati Parameshwar, and that should be the priority. That lady does not serve the Supreme Lord and only serves the husband. It's that she has to go to hellish condition. And first we said that one who doesn't serve the husband goes to hell. Now the gopis are saying, if the wives only serve the husband and not the Lord, then they will go to hell. And in this shloka, even ashram, if you follow the 4 varnas and ashrams, you do everything according to varna and ashram. But if you do not serve the Lord, then you will still go to hell. If that don't serve the Lord and you just follow the regulative principles of Varnashrama, then you will still have to go to hell. As said in Chaitanya Chaitamrita, you are following all the rules and regulations of Varnashram Dharma. Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi, following their sannyas dharma. But if they're not doing worship, doing their bhajan to Krishna, what is the fruit of that? They still have to go to hell. Krishna nahi bhaje. They still have to go to hell. Even though having reached the highest stage of Varnashram Dharma, one still has to go to hell. If one does not worship the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Protector, the Supreme Husband of all, Therefore, Parameshwar, Parampati is the Lord Himself,
भगवान के भजन नहीं करके
Bhagavan.
वर्णाश्रम धर्म पालन
That if we do not worship the Lord, we will go to hell.
इसलिए तो महाप्रभु कह रहे हैं
So Mahaprabhu is saying to Rai Ramanand,
राय कई सदम आचरण ने विष्णु भक्ति है वर्णाश्रम पालन करके विष्णु भक्ति ठीक है किंतु यदि भगवत
you can follow the Varnashram system, but if you don't worship the Lord, then there is no benefit.
वर्णाश्रम धर्म पालन करने से आप उच्च लोक तक जाएंगे स्वर्ग लोक
You
तक
can
जाएंगे
up to Swarga, heavenly planets, then you will have to come down.
एकं भक्ता सर्वलोकं विचारं
Mission
क्षीणे
Punya
पुण्यं
Vartarokam Vishnati.
इसलिए गोपियां भी उत्तर दे रही है
The gopis are giving this argument.
ये कृष्ण बताओ एक
Then Krishna,
एक पति है और एक
there is one husband, and then there is a supreme husband,
सेवा करना चाहिए
Parameshwar.
राम राम किंतु उसके क्या करना चाहिए परम पति परमेश्वर भगवान के भजन
You should worship the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So living in this world, you serve your husband
और साथ ही साथ
and together
परम पति भगवान
and serve the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Husband.
समझ में आया यही तो कहते हैं
So this is being said.
हमें ये बैलेंस लेकर के चलना है
We have to take this balance.
आश्रम धर्म पालन करते हुए
Varnashram, following Varnashram Dharma,
परम पति भगवान का
we should to surrender unto the Supreme Lord.
कितने सुंदर उत्तर
The gopis gave some very nice instructions
देखो इसमें कहा
to us.
प्रेम गौरव से परिपूर्ण होने पर भी गौरव विहीन निर्मल होने पर भी ब्रह्म आदि से परिपूर्ण है आज इसकी कथा बहुत सुंदर है
Samjay Maharaj?
श्री राधा प्रेम अत्यंत सुनिर्मल विशुद्ध सरल और कृष्ण सुखई का तात्पर्यमय है अपना सर्वस्व देकर भी सभी प्रकार से कृष्ण का प्रतिविधान ही इस प्रेम का चेष्टा है इसलिए इस प्रेम में वामोता कुटिलता का कोई स्थान नहीं है प्रेम में कोई वामोता कुटिलता के स्थान नहीं
And there is no place for hypocrisy or
कुटिलता आ जाता है
duplicity or contradictions in divine love.
उत्कर्षता करा
But this exists in pure love because it increases the love.
उत्कंठा के समय मिलन की अनिच्छा अथवा अनादर का प्रकाश ही ब्रह्म है स्वभावतः ही यही ब्रह्म ही कृष्ण सुखई का तात्पर्य अर्थात प्रेम विरोधी है ब्रह्मता क्या होता है
With the left-wing mood is
विपरीत दिखाई पड़ता है
it's contradictory to the love,
प्रेम को क्या करते हैं
but this left-wing mood, it increases the quality of the love.
है कि श्री राधा प्रेम सुनिर्मल होने पर भी उसमें वामता और कुटिलता दिखाई देती है वाम और वक्र व्यवहार से राधा प्रेम की सुनिर्मलता की भी हानि नहीं होती है किसी वस्तु में यदि विजातीय वस्तु मिल जाए तो वह वस्तु की सुनिर्मलता की हानि होती है जैसे गंगा जैसे
Like, for example, Ganga water is pure. Alcohol is opposite to that. The Ganga water is pure and the alcohol is impure.
देखो वही मदिरा जल में
If that
होने पर क्या हो जाता है
alcohol mixes with the Ganga jal, that water becomes impure.
अपवित्र होता है कि नहीं जल वो जल
तो-
भगवत सेवा में
Yeah, the Ganga jal becomes.
इनमें जैसे जल जल से उससे भिन्न वस्तु कीचड़ मिल जाए तो जल निर्मल नहीं रहता वामत और वक्रता प्रेम के भिन्न जातीय वस्तु होने पर भी है और उसके प्रेम के भी उत्कर्षता कराते हैं
But in the realm of transcendental love, this is opposite.
तरंग की विशेष है उसके मिश्रण से प्रेम मलिन नहीं होता, परंतु उनकी उज्ज्वलता और आस्वादन
it becomes even more relishable. It becomes more relishable in the realm of divine love. This the waves of the ocean in the left-wing mood, as it becomes higher and higher, it makes it more rise, and it becomes more attractive, more relishable. When we see the waves of the ocean so high, we become frightened. Yeah. डर जाते हैं. We become afraid, fear manifests in us when we see these large waves and the strength and power of the ocean on the full moon night. Those same waves, it increases the beauty of the ocean. So these two contradictory characteristics of beauty and fear in the same way. This example is given. Srimati Radhika's left-wing mood and contrariness makes it more attractive. Bhamyata means opposite. One word has several meanings. Bhamyata is left-wing mood, and vikrit, this word vikrit, has a different means crookedness. So, so these moods of left wing and right wing, when the hero has one, the heroine has the other, and vice versa.
अपितु कृष्ण के उज्ज्वलता और आस्वादन चमत्कारिता भी संपादित होती है। इसलिए श्लोक जो है विभुरूपी कलायन सदा भी विद्धि गुरुरूपी गौरवचर्याभिहीन मुहुरोपी चितो वक्रिमात भी शुद्धो जयति मुरद्दीश राधिकानु राधा के अनुराग, कृष्ण के प्रति अनुराग. Srimati's Radhika's anurag, deep attachment towards Krishna is being shown here. And this is not the pastimes of this material world. This is of the transcendental realm. राधिका का अनुराग विभु अर्थात असीम होने पर भी सदा वर्धनशील है. अत्यंत गुरु अर्थात महान होकर भी गौरव आचरण भी है. राधा के प्रेम करें. Srimati Radhika's love. Guru means here Mahan. Not only means spiritual master. Guru, great. So, having all the qualities, one considered oneself to be very insignificant. We said, Priyanuraga Ranjite Kulavilashita Ananyadanya Kunja Rajakama Keli Kovide Kada Karisha Shihamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajana. This showing Gaurav. Pride is showing good fortune, and then
Srimati Radhika becomes the opposite. Pride, humble. She becomes humble. And so it is said,
Gaurav Charja, Gaurav Charja विहीन अर्थात दक्षिण सेवाहीन हो जाता है, अर्थात मध्यत्वमय होने के नाते
becoming
आकर के
this, obtaining this possessiveness.
एक मधुस्नेह, एक होता है मधुस्नेह,
One is Madhusneha, Gritasneha.
राधा जी भी से मध्यत्व भाव,
Srimati Radhika's mood of mindness.
इसलिए जहाँ पर मध्यत्व आता है वहाँ पर अपना
then her possessiveness is establishes the possessiveness. He is mine.
मध्यत्वता मधुस्नेह का होरिका यह विषय मुँह पुनः पुनः उपचरित बक्रीमा अर्थ उपचित बुद्धित महिमा प्रकाश करते हैं। बक्रीमा कौटिल्य का पर्याय है।
This
वाम लक्षण के
talking
द्वारा
about this crookedness
अपने मध्यत्व भाव प्रकाश करता है।
and this possessiveness is a symptom of that. In the other mood of Sakyata, meaning conjugal husband and wife, is not so prominent. Sakyata, I belong to them, but in Parikya, the mood is they belong to me. The wife says to the husband, or the husband says to the wife, I belong to her. In Parakitya, the mood of they are mine is more prominent. You may think of this in a mundane way, but one is Madhusneha and another is Kritasneha. In Madhyata, Madhusneha, the prem, loving exchanges of crookedness. Like Krishna going to other gopis, in Srimati Radhika's heart, a left-wing mood manifests. Why? Krishna is in Radhika's heart. Krishna is thinking, Krishna is mine. When Krishna goes to Chandravali, Chandravali cannot give Krishna happiness. Then Srimati Radhika becomes upset, and thinking like this left mood wing of feeling comes in Srimati Radhika's heart. She thinks that Krishna is mine, and that I can only give Krishna the happiness, that he will be fully satisfied. Chandravali cannot give this. Then, because Chandravali cannot satisfy Krishna, then Krishna will be unhappy. Thinking like this, Srimati Radhika manifests a left-wing mood. Just like a small child seeing fire, thinking that it's something to eat. The mother again and again forbids the child to touch the fire.
Again try to catch the fire. But mother stopped the baby. Then baby becomes angry.
Then the baby becomes angry and hits the mother. I want. Then the mother takes the hand of the baby, touches the fire, and teaches the baby like that. Not the baby.
That means mother has so much
affection possessiveness towards a baby. That which you think is good is not good for you. Why does Maya give us so much trouble? Because we're not performing Krishna's bhajan. There's nothing to give and take in terms of Maya herself. Krishna, Maya is saying that because you're not worshipping Krishna, then you will be punished. This is actually indirect mercy. This meaning of this Maya is to give mercy. It means just like the mother takes the hand of the child and puts it near the fire. This is mercy. This looks like very harsh on the outside, but this is the mercy of the mother, that the child will not again in the future touch the fire. The mother knows that the child will be burnt. Then mother just pulls the hand back. Understand? Like the daughter-in-law goes to the mother-in-law's kitchen, the daughter-in-law says, "I cannot make roti," and then the mother-in-law puts the hand on the pan. This is stupidness. In the transcendental realm, this is not like that. The saas means it will choke you. Saas means two meanings, your breath. Your daughter will become a daughter of mother-in-law to somebody else in the future. Saas, you will have to become mother-in-law in the future. So this is a teaching. So what we're learning from this is that we should give love and affection to others. Not to give trouble to the daughter-in-law, but to give her teaching. It's not that we should take the hand of the daughter-in-law and put it on the hot pan. It's not like that. This is not appropriate. This is not right. How should we teach the daughter-in-law? The daughter-in-law, she's giving a chastisement to the maid. Yeah, how this is indirect teaching to the daughter-in-law. And can't you wake up early? Why are you coming late? The maid is saying, I come every day, make your tea on time, everything. The mother-in-law is saying, I am not telling you, I am telling my daughter-in-law. She stays sleeping till 9 o'clock. I'm not telling you, I'm telling my daughter-in-law. Indirectly. Yes, learned daughter-in-law now, educated, how to teach. How? Sasan. Yeah, by chastising the maid, she is actually talking to the daughter-in-law, trying to teach the daughter-in-law. If she's lazy, that's another thing. So, Srimati Radhika, in the heart of Srimati Radhika, she has this sweet mood towards Krishna.
वाम भाव के द्वारा
this Bhamya, this left-wing mood,
उनके हृदय में मधुस्नेही प्रकाश होता है।
this Madhusneha, this sweet loving affection
राधिका अनुराग
manifests in our heart.
राधिके अनुराग सर्वोत्कर्षेण वर्तते। मधुस्नेह और एक होता है गीतस्नेह।
One is Madhusneha and another is Gritasneha.
यह भाव है और निरुपाधिक होने पर भी जो बार बार कुटिलता अर्थात ब्रह्म भाव प्रदर्शित करता है वह मुरारी श्री कृष्ण के प्रति राधा के यह अनुराग सर्वोत्कृष्ट रूप से विराजमान हो। ये मधुस्नेह के द्वारा ही
By this Madhusneha,
प्रेम की उत्कर्षता मिलती है।
this loving exchange increases.
कौन सा
Madhusneha.
द्वारा माधुर्य भाव प्रकाशित होता है और घृतस्नेह के द्वारा
And by Gritasneha,
माधुर्यता कम हो जाती है।
the sweetness is diminishes,
बार बार पढ़ते पढ़ते सुनते सुनते आए
becomes less.
वही समझ में आया
Diminish.
सास हमें क्या गाली
Diminish.
दिया
Hmm?
आते कि नहीं होता है हमारे सास नहीं है सास लोग
Sans.
किंतु एक दिन
Sans
वो एक दिन
means-
क्या बनेगी वो भी सास बनेगी तब से समझ में आया।
The mother-in-law
ये मैं
treating the daughter-in-law badly. But the daughter-in-law has to remember that one day she will also become a mother-in-law.
से भजन नहीं दिया
I did not serve my husband.
जब वो सास बन जाएगी फिर अपने भी याद
Then she will remember how she was treated by her mother-in-law.
शासन करती है
Why the mother-in-law chastises,
कल्याण के
or just she chastises for our benefit.
कि तो हम नहीं कर रहे हैं जो जैसे कुछ सास जो होते हैं
And we're not saying that like all mother-in-laws, some of them are stupid nonsense.
बड़ों पे शासन करना है
It's you should teach the daughter-in-law, but with sweet words,
अपने नकरानी के शासन करके
like indirectly.
सुधार दें।
You chastise your maid.
यदि नहीं सुधारे वही बहू एक दिन सास जो बनेगी
If she does not teach the daughter-in-law, then when she becomes a mother-in-law herself, she will not.
बहू लोग को सास के शासन में
Well, the other way around.
वही तो होता है
And then nowadays the daughter-in-law
शासन करेगी नहीं
daughter-in-law chastises the mother-in-law nowadays. This will be reverted. You get a reaction for this.
बात समझते हैं
As you do unto others, so shall be done unto you.
ये बात नहीं मान रहे हो
If you don't listen to your mother-in-law, and if you try to correct your mother-in-law,
है क्या
that karma file will come back to you.
सास बनोगे
When the day you will become a mother-in-law yourself, then your daughter-in-law will behave like that towards you.
समझ में आ रही कि नहीं है
Do you understand?
हो या अभी जो है सास की बात बहू नहीं मान रही
The daughter-in-law does not listen to the mother-in-law, but that daughter-in-law, when she becomes a mother-in-law,
सास बनेगी नहीं बनेगी हैं? फिर उनकी वजह से बहू
then
बनेगी नहीं है।
her daughter-in-law will react or act in the same way
हैं?
to her.
एक
You get
एक पिता जो है वृद्ध शादी हो गया शादी होने के बाद एक छोटा बच्चा हुआ
one person got married, they had a child,
वृद्ध पिता
their older mother and father.
कि देखो बहू की अपने पत्नी की बचने पर पिताजी के ठीक से भोजन नहीं देता था
So the daughter-in-law was not feeding the father nicely,
शुरू कर दिया। पिताजी के ठीक से भोजन नहीं देता
did not feed him properly,
और पिताजी
her,
के भोजन
her father-in-law.
टूटी फूटी कटोरी होता है ना
They used to give one small broken bowl, cracked bowl, and treat him like a dog, feed him like a dog.
समय के बाद
Then after some time,
पिताजी जब शरीर छोड़ के
when the father left, when the father left his body.
सहारा लेना पड़ता ही नहीं पड़ता
They have to
क्या करे बेचारा
the elders have to take shelter at their son's house.
पिता से किया वो बेटा पिताजी की सम्मान नहीं करता
That child in the house started to insult, or that grandchild was seeing all of this, how the mother was treating
दादा के किस
treating the father. So that child was doing the same thing to his parents
में जो देख रहे हैं जो करे चैरिटी बिगिंस द
at home.
संसार में हम देखते हुए करेंगे
That
जो पिताजी जब शरीर छोड़ दिया उसके जो कमरा में वो रखा था
that is the
टूटा फूटा जो है पटरी था ना
yeah. So the grandchild saw that same little bowl that the son was offering to his father.
ना इसे फेंक दो दादा तो
चले गए, yeah.
इस कटोरी के फेंक दिया जाए अरे नहीं नहीं
No, this grandson.
बूढ़े हो गए ना
Hey, one day you will be, when you get old, I will give you the same bowl.
देखो क्यों वो देख रहे हैं ना
Yeah, the grandchild is seeing how you're behaving towards your parents. They will learn from that.
समझ में आ रही कि नहीं है इसलिए माता पिता को सम्मान दो
And that's why we should respect and honor our parents.
खस करके
And otherwise, you will be bound by the daughter-in-law
माता पिता भी
behaving badly,
बेटा बहू की भी
and that will spoil the relationship in the family. You should respect your elders.
तो दूसरी फलाना के घर के बेटी
It's not that
थोड़ी पे कोक का बेटी
it's not that the mother-in-law should treat the daughter-in-law any differently than their own daughter.
सास के कर्तव्य क्या है
The responsibility of the mother-in-law is to treat the daughter-in-law as their own daughter.
क्या बोला
Do you understand?
सास के भी क्या होनी चाहिए
So the mother-in-law should
बहू को माने
treat the daughter-in-law as like their daughter, their own daughter.
for that जैसे तुम आचरण करोगे वही तुम्हारे पास आएगा therefore every action
As
is
equal
equal
and
and
opposite reaction.
बल्कि तो वही आएगा तुम्हारे पास तुमने क्या व्यवहार किया
What? How did you behave? That will come back to you.
तो अच्छा आएगा और नहीं
If not,
कहाँ से आएगा
then what you will get back in return.
आचरण करो
Therefore, we should behave properly.
किंतु अपराध चित्त जगत की प्रेम उसके बढ़ाने के लिए
But this is to increase the divine loving exchanges between the divine couple in the transcendental world. This left-wing mood, right-wing mood, and crookedness. This is the pastimes of the spiritual realm. Jai Shri Gurudev ki Jai. Shri Bhaktivedanta Maharaj.